Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United at the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast in association with Lucky Star Gin. I'm your host Mike, and with me on our panel today with Joe. It was going to be Mark, but he had a bit of technical problems as well, so Joe's going to fly solo for us. In this episode, we're going to discuss the continuing post-Christmas unbeaten run. I cannot believe how I got this right, timing so perfect all the way through the season. I've been saying it's going to happen, and it did. I don't know how I'm going to ever live off this. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. But we won against Eastleigh, and we'll look forward to the match against Kidderminster Harriers. With the engagement, obviously, I love it. All the thumbs up, all the likes, all the comments, all the little shares. Really do enjoy it. You may have noticed this week that Gandemonium has made the move off Twitter, and they're going on to Blue Skies. So there's going to be a lot more conversation onto Blue Sky everywhere. So we all try and join in that as well, because I've got that, but I'm not the number one Sutton account on Blue Sky. I probably was at one stage because I was the only one on there, but now Gandemonium's got it. We are going to say hello to Joe, who has got yet another string to his bow. Joe, how are you? What was it, and how was it?
I'm very good, Mike. For anyone that was at the match yesterday, you will have maybe noticed that it wasn't the dulcet tones of Tony Dolbear over the public announcement system. It was me, and it was fun. It's a really cool job. Big thanks to Jack, Mr. Jack Daly. I know he liked. There was a clip earlier in the season he told me about. He liked my opinion, so if this ever gets clipped and put out there, hello Jack, mate. But big thanks to you. That's your cue, Mike, to put it out as a clip to Jack. But yeah, no, it was dead fun. Got to play the music before match, so got to throw in a few good songs there, and then I was slightly disappointed when we conceded the penalty, because like the first goal I'm going to announce is not going to be ours, and then when Jack saved it, it took everything within my power of being a massive Sutton fan not to come over the PA and start singing Jack Sims. Exactly. But then to do the number 9 Will Davies, that was fun. Like the reaction from the crowd when I did that was actually really good. Something I haven't heard kind of with the goal announcement. So, you know, bit of energy to it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Bit of a dream, bit of a thing to say. Oh yeah. Not a bad thing to say I've done. No. But yeah, and I'm going to be hopefully on it in a few weeks' time again. So yeah, perfect, wonderful,
very good. So this was the knowing me, knowing you question. Obviously, there's normally a bit of discussion on this, but it's just going to be you here. So, what's the best food or drink you've ever had at a football ground? Oh, hang on.
Oh, you haven't done a thing. You haven't done a thing.
Oh, that's awful. Terrible.
I love it.
I know. I'm into forgetting. Obviously, the jingle's great. So, what's the best food or drink you've ever had at a football ground, and where was it? Now, I was expecting Mark to come up with something like the Fleet Burger. It went down in history years and years ago. It was just an amazing burger, and everyone looked forward to it. Then they stopped doing it. But what is your favourite food or drink you've had at any football ground?
It's actually this season. It was in pre-season at Brentford B, when we played Brentford B in pre-season at Wheatsheaf Park, and they had a remarkably good and as a 17-year-old with on a budget, they for £7.50 they had a double bacon cheeseburger with a drink, and it was something special. Like actual like seeded buns, patty, like proper big patties, like American cheese, but like not. It was like proper cheese, bacon, but like actual bacon, not half fat, and an exceptional drink selection, which resulted in me getting a Lucozade raspberry, and that it was just my dream to I was like pitch side by watching. It's the first game I watched in pre-season. Nice sunny day. Stood there, eating my burger, having a Lucozade, and yeah, it was the best food I've ever had at a football game. Even though the stakes were extremely low and it ended in a 1-0 win, and it was against Brentford B, and it was in a place which needed neither of the home grounds. It was actually quite an enjoyable. It was a really enjoyable burger, and it's the thing I remember most about that day. The only other thing I remember about that day is we had a really good striker we never signed, but like we have a really good striker who we did sign now, so it doesn't really matter.
No. Well, I tell you what, I thought this was going to be a really, really just awful question, but you seem to have dreamed about that burger.
Oh, it's something special.
You've been thinking about
anyone that wants to go to Stainstown FC. I don't know if it's a solely Brentford thing, but it's where their youth team play. I don't know if they still do it. I hope they still do it because I hope we play there again. But it was something special, like generational value for money and burger.
Amazing, right? I thought I put myself on mute when I had that last cough, so sorry, everyone, I didn't. Okay, so let us know where you've had the best food or drink. Does it live up to his generational burger at Staines/Brentford B? Give us your answers. Share your thoughts. So, club news. There was a few. There's actually quite a bit on here. Actually, ladies won today. I think I've forgotten to mention them last week when they won their game last week because it's so used to their game not actually being on that I'd forgotten. So, ladies won today. They're through to the next round after a penalty in extra time. I'm pretty sure penalty will come into conversation later on as well. One news report, and I'm not sure how good the site is or how reliable, but apparently there's a report of Jack Taylor being scouted by West Ham, Spurs, Millwall, Peterborough, and others. What do you think of that? Don't just go look it up. Take my word for it. I'm telling you, it's true.
I am, but I'm just. Oh, hang on. Jack Taylor, Sutton. Hang on. Really? Oh my God.
See, that oh my God, and that really high pitch, by the way, made me believe you didn't believe me.
No, I did believe you, but like what? Tottenham?
Listen, sending scouts to look at someone doesn't actually necessarily mean a bid's coming in.
Go, Jack. Oh, that's huge. I need to speak to Jack now because then if he moves to Tottenham, because Big said I spoke to Jack Taylor in his prime.
Absolutely.
I saw him yesterday. No, he was. Wow. Yeah, he's good. I mean, like Hampton wax lyrical. He's come into the team, and Hayden Muller, who Steve loves, he's kind of displaced him a little bit. And he was, everyone's like pen yesterday. I don't think it really was a pen, but it was very 6.5 dozen of the other. But it was assured. He was assured on the ball. He's got really good passing range. He's strong. He's calm. Everything you need in a National League defender. Give him that propel up the pyramid. I wouldn't. Even if we didn't go up this season, I would even see him a move if he doesn't go up to League Two anyway. I could see, as much as I wouldn't want it to happen, I could see a Wimbledon, a Bromley, someone like that taking a chance on him because I think he's a very good defender. And from the moment even when Matt was the manager, he was always kind of waxy lyrical about him in the youth academy, and his name was always mentioned. And it was really good when he came in midway through last season under Steve. So it doesn't surprise me, but.
It does.
Wow. It does, but it doesn't.
It doesn't surprise me, but wow.
The news surprises me, but the player doesn't.
Yeah.
Because if there's any player who has, I think, not the highest ceiling. I think there are some very, very good players, but I think the player who has the highest ceiling to go far, I could see him if there's aspect of his game he can improve. I'm sure, but I could see him being a championship. Player in not in the not too distant future. So he is a very good player, and we're very lucky to have him. But that is as good. There was, and I will say this: chief scout from Bromley was there yesterday.
Right.
So I don't know if that is. He asked me for a team sheet in the PA box. There was part of me was like, "Well, you're a Bromley player, so do I give you one?" I was like, I'll give you one. And there was a part of me which thought I shouldn't have given him one. I was like, because then he won't know he's looking at it. And I can just say,
yeah, he's got no other way of finding out, Joe.
No, but there were a few scouts from what I saw yesterday. So
yeah,
that's good. That doesn't mean feat. Peterborough doesn't surprise me as well because Peterborough have a really good track record of picking up gems from non-league. Chris Clark, Kwame Poku, people like that. So, yeah, wow, go on, Jack. That's all I can say.
Well, on odd transfer news,
we said
goodbye to Jeremy Sivvy. By all accounts, that happened really quick. As a club, Sutton have always prided themselves on if an offer comes in, they're going to let the player know. Because if the player knows, they can make a decision. He I've seen different things, but from what I can gather, he wasn't looking to leave. But when the sort of interest came in, he was like, "Oh, moving to a different country. Let me explore that." So you kind of got to let someone have a go at that, and good luck to him. I think everyone's going on their 6th in the top flight. I did look; it looks like there's only 12 teams in the top flight.
There is.
So it's like it's literal mid-table. But Andy says 4 of them go through to or can qualify for Europe.
Yeah,
so it could be potentially playing in Europe. That'd be another little nice feather in our caps.
Yeah.
And George has left us, gorgeous George, for his 28 days. Some amazing displays, not least midweek, winning against West Brom. His 3 penalty saves, they were great saves. They weren't just
excellent.
Yeah, they weren't just rubbish penalties. They were good penalties, and he made great saves. With that, we go into a final match in that thing, which I know we've all got different interest on it. But if we win in normal time, we're through. If Forest win in normal time, they're through. If we draw and win on penalties, we'll be out unless it's a draw of 6-6 onwards. So basically, we need to win to get through is the idea. And 2 other things. The fans match has been announced. I'm not going to play, but you can get a T-shirt like this. You can get to play.
I am. I will be playing this year. I'm 18 this year, so I will be playing. Hopefully, hang on. The only thing is I don't know. Is it the 18th of May?
It's the 18th of May. It's a Sunday.
Okay. So my first A-level exam's on the Tuesday, so I need to actually show I've done some revision before then to try and let my parents play.
Absolutely.
But to play on an opportunity to play on the VBS,
Exactly.
It would be an opportunity. So
exactly. You wouldn't want to be thinking about that the whole time while you're revising, going, "Oh, why didn't I do it?" You see,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah. We've also got the week after Dundo's testimonial on the 25th. So I know they're away off, and I'm probably going to mention them again. But the fans match does get booked up really quickly. So if you're interested, do send an email. Podcasting news. I was pitch side yesterday with Jenny. I bullied a load of people to get pictures with Jenny, which was great fun. And also, young Freddie Dunn has got a broken leg on a skiing trip. Harry had to shoot. Aaron, his wife, had to shoot out to get him. So yes, Freddie, I know you listen. So get well strong. But you will have to go to school again, mate. I'm not saying like your dad says.
Yeah.
Maybe not next few days, but you are going to have to go to school. You can't just go, "That's it, I'm done now." But yeah, get well soon and strong. Very importantly. So, onto the match. What did you think of the lineup? What were your expectations? I mean, it was a pretty even, both same number of games, same number of, were 10th and they were 11th.
Yep.
So it was a pretty even expectation for me, but obviously I still went for a 3-1 win. But what were you thinking when you saw the lineup, and what were your hopes, expectations?
Well, they aren't at their strongest at the moment. They've got quite a few injuries: McCullum, Torrey Shade. So I thought we're in good form. I thought it could be a good game for us. Their away form isn't brilliant. Our home form's getting better. lineup was good. Sims and goal. The one thing I was going to say just about Evans, maybe just because obviously the Steve the Millwall connection, I could see perhaps just knowing Arnie's getting on, knowing he's been injured, knowing stuff like maybe I want more game time because Sims is now the number one. I would like to maybe see him again, maybe in the summer, maybe to become as a number two to Jack, because he does that job well. We have the number of competitions we do. He's not far off. Like, shot stopping ability is good, distribution's not bad. But yeah, I didn't expect him to start. Sims and goal. We have to do the thing about National League Cup with playing that. So I thought that like Edwina would start. And then it kind of, now when I see the National League Cup games, I now understand why you think like Simpson and Josh start, because they have to start on the Saturday. But yeah, it wasn't I was very happy with the team. Nada's out, but Dylan again provides something slightly different, man on man. Simps in the middle. Woodham still come back from injury. Sigil on the bench was a nice addition. Having a full bench after not being able to do it a few weeks prior was quite nice. Alex Woodyard really settling in. He's a really nice presence in midfield. Just a bit more like a combination of the aggression from Harris, which we've maybe missed a little bit, and also just the calm head, which Finley I think has always exhibited. And then with Simps kind of playing a bit more attacking, which is quite nice because just his passing, he's got a strike on him from distance, as is Bez, as we saw yesterday. So I was happy with the team. I quite like the back line. I know Tyler's been a mainstay. To get Jack to come in, I think the only thing I'd say about when Tyler and Hayden play, something I was just noticing, is Tyler's plays a lot wider and Hayden's kind of like, Tyler comes forward a little bit more, and that maybe just sometimes leaves us a little bit exposed, because now if Tyler and Josh are kind of like on the same wavelength, if Josh is playing kind of that wing back role, it means that there's no one behind if they're both forward. But when because Hayden, plays out from the back so well and moves out from the back, it just can mean that we then go far a bit too forward, and then we put ourselves under pressure. That didn't really happen yesterday because Jack was back all the time and Tyler was assisting him with that. And then you had who played left centre back?
Bez.
Was it Bez? Oh yeah, it was Bez. Who's playing left wing back then? Dylan.
No, Baz, wasn't it?
No, but didn't we have?
I don't know.
Am I missing someone? You can see how on it we are. I'm going to check.
Yeah, no.
You talk about the line. I'm going.
Well, I was just going to say about the point you made about George is, I'm not sure he would come back to us as a number two, because that wouldn't really help his development that much. Wouldn't it be better for him to drop to a lower division or something to be starting?
Maybe I can see a National South. Edwino, sorry, I just forgot about Edwino. No. So it was Bez, because he came forward a lot as well. It reminded me, but Edwino's playing as like a
knowledge,
a left wing.
Knowledge, hey.
I like the lineup. I was really looking forward to the game yesterday for some reason. It's my first game since. No, even before I knew that, I hadn't been to a game since Shot, because Tamworth got delayed. I was going to go to York, but then I had schoolwork, and just kind of the sequence of games meant I never really got to one. So, and I thought Eastleigh were a team we could beat. I thought we have the momentum. I think the squad. I felt closer to the squad after last Saturday. I think a lot of people did. I think the squad felt closer. I think within the club the atmosphere was really good. I think just last Saturday and everything that happened afterwards just was excellent. Puts us in there, and yesterday just continuing it. I was cautiously optimistic heading into it. I know they're no pushover, they're 11th for a reason, but I was looking forward to it.
Well, one of the points I've wanted to go through, we've kind of touched on already, Woodyard's coming in to sort of shore us up a little bit. How much difference have you felt it made over those last couple of games? I'm not 100% sure he's fully match fit. So it's one of those things like we've been saying with the young players, he's only going to get better. But how have you been feeling his impact on the side?
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. He's not match fit. I think he had made 1 or 2 mistakes in the early exchanges yesterday. Nothing glaring, but I think he's vocal. You can tell he's vocal on the pitch, but he's a bit of a bruiser. Like he throws himself into it, which is something I think you need in a midfield, because like Eastleigh had that in their captain Taylor, who would throw themselves into it. And with Wadham, let's say it's Wadham, Simper, and Finley. Finley can be that, but he's better when he's turning away from players and moving the ball about. Simpson's quite aggressive and Wadham's quite aggressive. That means when we get to that midfield, in the battles, you don't have the person who's just willing to just fight and scrap. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing kind of I've noticed. He's not the person playing the balls out to Josh or into Will. He's the person who's winning the knockdown, who's if Will's backing into a defender, he's the person, let's say, Simps picks it up, he'll offload it to Woodyard, he'll offload it to Finley, and then it'll go out wide. So he's never like the final executor of the ball, but he's the link which we have missed in, Simps to Jaden, if you know what I mean. And, it feels much more complete, which is a really nice thing to see. And it's clear he's made a difference, because we have been on an unbeaten run, Barnet, but I feel like the last two league games and Tamworth, he didn't even play. He didn't play Tamworth, but the last 2 league games in particular, it feels like our midfield's a bit more complete, and it's a bit more of less of a defense and attack, if you know what I mean.
I feel it's a silly one where he's coming in doing that, and everyone else is looking, going, okay, I better follow suit and just have that little bit of aggression in there. We will. I mean, this is going to jump around. I'm just moving it all around the place. So let's talk about Will. 13 now for the season, I think. So a bit of pressure to step up for the penalty, because obviously, as Steve said, if Sidgey had been on the pitch, he wouldn't have got anywhere near it. How was his overall performance, and how did you enjoy the celebration when he ran and I don't know what he grabbed from the side? I really don't know. How
anyone want to ask Matt O'Glow just to make sure? It wasn't like York where the chances came and they were really well taken goals. Chances weren't really there for him yesterday. We weren't. The game in the first half, apart from Bez's hit and the pen, pretty bog standard rubbish National League football. It was very middle of the park, very few chances at either end, and if the ball did go into the box, it kind of just got cleared away. But when the chance came, he was there. He didn't actually have a chance before then, really. That he really should have buried. And I mean, I'm massively here for it. I've been since last Saturday, just back and forth with York fans on Twitter, and everyone's like, a lot of York fans are like, oh, it was his attitude at York. Yeah, okay, and he could have, but like both club and thing realised it wasn't right. He didn't want to live up north, and he wanted to pay out to leave to another club. Yeah, but Braintree or Leiston or Sutton have had that attitude problem that you talk of, or Bromley. You're saying he's a decent mid-table striker, he's a decent this. Well, so you don't score 13 goals in the national. You don't score 13 goals in the season if you're just mid-table bog standard. You're doing something right. So I think props to him. There's League Two interest from what I've heard. Hope he doesn't. I don't think he won't leave this window. I don't think at all. I think to show he's kind of not the finished product, but a bit more flashed out. Stay to the end of the season. If we make a playoff run, we do. It's a long shot, but if we do, we do. Teams like Oldham and teams above them, Solihull, slipping up a little bit, and we're one win, and if the results go away, we're up into the playoffs. So, I feel like we can only get better or stay at our quality. I think we've beaten our troubles earlier in the season, which is kind of what Steve alluded to throughout the season, and we've trusted, and it's actually starting to come to fruition as people start to get into match fitness and games. If we get through to the FA Trophy, but National League Cup, barring it might stop, but it might not. I don't actually know what the format is past the group stage. So I'm dead happy for him, because he has we've always said, I remember just in previous podcasts and previous seasons, Mike, we've just talked about like our 20-goal season striker. I was like, oh, do we get an handicap? Do an handicap? We have Will Davies. He's pretty much it. 13 goals at this stage of the season. He's very much on track for that. He's not just a striker. The role he plays for us is much more than that. It's the role, let's say, Bogil played for us, plus a 20-goal season striker.
Yeah,
exactly, which is something a lot of teams would die for, and understand why there's interest in him. And if we don't go up and we don't get playoffs, and he leaves in the summer, props to him. But if he does, I think he's loving his time at the club. I found it funny how he chucked the bag at Edwina, and Edwina got hit on the head with it. That was amusing. But the collective thing with it and the little celebration in the tunnel afterwards. I mean, it just reeks of someone who's been pushing to try and get this going, and he's found a club and found a manager who brings the best out of him. And that's props to the clubs for signing him, and props to Steve and Will for himself, just for you may say, oh, he's a great player, but the return wasn't there at York and Bromley last season. The return was there in National League South. So Steve's evidently found something there to work with now, just to work with Sims, to work with Josh, to get him in a really rich vein of form. Like if you're putting money on someone to score in a match for us, I'm putting money on Will every time now. It might have been earlier in the season, Josh, but he's always on the end of a cross, and his confidence in himself is massive right now. You can tell in the way he plays it. There's a certain swagger about him, not arrogance, but just like, I know this is my role. I'm going to do it well.
I think it's 8 in 9 now. I think the Gucci bag thing is funny for us because we've been able to latch onto it, and it gives us a little bit of a focal point to kind of have all a bit of a sort of getting together and a bit of a laugh, because no one's taking it seriously, but obviously York fans are. But I did see one big difference with his celebration yesterday, in that he was proper smiling. And I mean, I know he does the cover of the mouth and stuff, but some of the other celebrations, he's like, yeah, scored. But it was like a proper beaming smile across his face, and I was like, oh, he's loving this whole Gucci bag thing. So I think it's great. But what did you think about the?
I'd like to say I tagged Matt Ugler last weekend.
Yeah, I know. You sent it to me, and I was like, who's he?
And everyone was like, oh no, he won't rise to it. I sent it to a bunch of people. I was like, I don't know if it was me directly, but I'd like to have an influence in the ensuing 7 days.
Well, there was a lot of anger that he'd gone over to what's called the disabled section of the stadium to celebrate in front of the fans there. And people go, oh, that's terrible. Someone did say to me, so what? They're disabled, they can't join in the banter. Is that what they're saying? And it's like, no, they deserve the banter just as much as everyone else. It's just,
and also I don't think he, it's not like he went, oh, let me run around half the pitch and go to this group of people because I don't know. He's celebrating a goal against a club who literally before both games were saying, oh, he's rubbish. What a waste of talent. Exactly. And there was a York fan I was talking to this morning. It was like, oh, this all started because he cupped his ears at the 2-2 draw earlier. Your fans were all in our comments on the game of that day saying he's rubbish, Will Davies won't score, and then all came back to it. And even York fans, when we scored last week, were saying, this aged well. So it came from the moment we signed him that York fans were bitter towards him. And they were saying, oh, it's because he had a bad attitude. We bought a flat for him. We did all this. It shouldn't matter what he does off the pitch and how he's feeling and what issues he's dealing with. On the pitch, he's performed for a new club, and you lot have taken the piss out of him, and that's not our problem. And we're gonna enjoy it. And Vanarama and Football have reposted it on Instagram, so we're having a great time. And we'll take it as much as you want from York. Like we will get promoted at the end of the season. Yeah, but we don't care. You've lost 2 in 3. You're like, oh, we got Josh Stones for 350k. Well, we got Will Davies, who you couldn't make perform, and he's got a better scoring rate than Josh Stones. So we would never take a switch. So go away from us. And I hope I never had a problem with York, but at the moment I'm not rooting. I don't like any of the title contenders at all. And Barnet, how have Barnet become the ones I would mind the least? Just because York fans have annoyed me. Forest Green are Forest Green. And no offense to Forest Green, but just because of they're Forest Green. And Barnet, even though 3-3, but they're the least just annoying out of the lot.
What did you think of Dylan's run and change of direction for the penalty? The guy literally he couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't a horrible foul or anything. It was just the way Dylan kind of suddenly switched direction. The bloke was like, there's nothing I can do here. Pleased with that?
Yeah, dead pleased. I never Dylan's been good. He hasn't been what in pre-season. The last game of pre-season we played Welling, and I watched him and I was like, this kid's going to be special. And then he got injured at Tamworth and was out for 3 months. Now he hasn't got consistent game time because Josh Nadders and Will and Jack and Sims, they've all been really, really good, even though results maybe haven't been there. That front three of Nadders, Will, and Josh has kind of been pretty consistent. Or switching around that. Even Jez before he left. So, he hasn't really got his time. But I remember there was the first goal of that last preseason friendly. He skipped past 2 defenders, and the defenders had no idea. The centre half literally fell over just because he changed too quickly and hit a ball from 20 yards out and scored a brilliant goal. And I was gutted to see him go off, but that felt like that's what Dylan De Silva can do. That's what Torquay fans were saying. Him taking on a defender, it's a scary prospect, and him running it was pressing like mad yesterday, and even Standout when he came on as well. Both of those two were, instead of Will, because Will in the past has led the press, it's now actually the wingers who lead it and charge down the keeper, and that put the pressure on it. It just, the mentality around the side, because they got their tails up, it is different. So I was really pleased from yesterday. Played really well.
Yeah, I mean, one little thing on that defender who had given away the penalty just a few minutes before. Some of the Sutton fans who was just standing behind me were giving this great big baldy song. So I kind of just turned my head like that, looking at them, and one by one they went a little bit, oh, hang on. And then this one poor bloke just carried on and on and on, wondering why everyone stopped, and then suddenly turned and looked at me and went, oh, I don't care really, I'm just playing. But,
they all got rattled.
Yeah, what do you think of me dying? Hang on.
For audio listeners, Mike is taking a sip of water.
So Jack's penalty save.
That was an excellent save.
The photo sequence from Paul is amazing, but talk us through that while I cough.
It is a stunning save. Well, Mike just slowly coughs his lungs up. I'll give you a nice little thing. For anyone who wasn't watching, we have, considering where we were with not getting penalties and conceding penalties last season, not saving any of them since Jack Rose against Cambridge, we've come on leaps and bounds. We now score our penalties. Oh, well, barring Nana Boating on Tuesday night, but other than that, we do well. It was a really good save, and it wasn't like leaned down. He used his top hand to flick it over the bar, and that takes there's power in it. It wasn't a bad penalty at all. It could have been a bit more, maybe top left, but to flick it over the bar and get that much power, because I thought it might have dipped in. But excellent from Jack. I mean, he got in Team of the Week for National League Natter on Twitter. But then again, I think that everyone's like, oh, should Sims get man of the match? Should Davies get man of the match? The Bez was in the Papers Team of the Week. I was like, there's not really anyone yesterday who was not outstanding, and there wasn't anyone who was bad. Everyone was solid and good. Davies had a quiet game, but took the chance when he needed. Dylan created the chance and was decent throughout. So was the back line. Woodyard, Barbrick was good in midfield. Simps was creating chances, wasn't bad. The subs came on. Jack made the save, but other than that, had very little to do. And as did the Eastleigh goalkeeper. Weirdly, there weren't really many clear chances in the game. Eastleigh keeper McDonald had a bit more to do, but not masses. It wasn't like it was a barrage from us. It was a bit just like we took our chance. So excellent save. I think that gave us momentum, because I think first half an hour it was very even. I think we were starting to give a little bit, but then Eastleigh just had 5 minutes where they looked a little bit threatening, and then the penalty was awarded. But then it swung back the other way, and after half time, I think second half we were better, much better. Even though that didn't convert into shots and chances, we were just much more comfortable. And when Kirky came on, it was part of me was like, is this another Aldershot? And I was actually like, no, it's not, because Aldershot actually looks slightly threatening. These lot, I wasn't worried in that last however long minute it was, because it was like, we've got control, we've got a back line who I really trust. No one looks tired, whereas Aldershot was the end of a long December where we had injuries left, right, and centre. So yeah, it was a great save. I think it shifted the tide of the game quite significantly.
Yeah, I didn't die, by the way, everyone. But I was around the other side. I was sort of behind the bench when that happened, and I think it was John Meaney and Steve both went up and gave like a great big celebration with Andy, the goalkeeping coach. And I know Steve mentioned in the post match about that's what some of the work that goes into these penalties. Trust what they say. So it just shows that togetherness there. And I mean, yeah, great save, great sequence. Everything was fantastic on that. But you mentioned the back line. I mean, you mentioned them earlier. You're right with Steve. When Lewis was given man of the match, his interviewing was he? I didn't think he did any more than others, and I was like, oh, but as you just said, there wasn't anyone who stood out. Everyone was at a good level, so you could have given it to a few.
Could have been
different
anyone, yeah.
But you mentioned also the substitutions as we get into that sort of late moments where we all start to sit back and think, oh God, hang on a minute, is it going to happen again? But we saw it out. I've now said that's it, done and dusted. Those 6 minutes don't count for nothing anymore. Psychologically, we've done that now 2 weeks in a row. We're holding on to a lead. 6 minute goes up. Fine, whatever, bring it on.
Yeah.
And we don't care anymore. Are you going to be nice and calm next time 6 minutes goes up?
No. Too many times I've tried to be, and it doesn't work. There'll be no football match when you're leading by 1 goal where you're like, especially not Sutton. I think yesterday I actually wasn't nervous, but I was more focused on giving the man of the match to the right person and just making sure I did the added time right. But the substitutions reinforced it. Sidhu looked really good considering he'd had a dislocated shoulder. Like he dominated that midfield. Kirk looked good at the back. Like he played quite aggressively, like winning headers comfortably. Standout looked good on the hold-up play. And I remember I think it was a corner for them, and we cleared it. They passed it back to McDonald, and he just came from like somewhere in the box, just roared down the field, and before like it was there properly, and forced the keeper to just kind of lob it up, and it bounced out of play. And the round of applause which came from that was very rightly deserved, because he could have just pressed, but not pressed there like that. He was sprinting like properly quickly towards the keeper. And, that was indicative of the kind of momentum and the mood of the camp and the match at the time. But it was, I'm looking forward to February, because we've got quite a few big games, like away games at Oldham and Gateshead, who, Oldham have got 2 games in hand, but they're only 4 points ahead and they're not in a good run of form. You got Kiddie, which could, if we win, that takes us in the quarterfinals, I think, of the FA Trophy, if I'm not wrong. So that
yes,
an FA Trophy run, if we keep the momentum going up, that's a hope, maybe a day out at Wembley at the end of it. And then you've got other league games in there. Hartlepool, not an easy game. Braintree at home, you might think that's an easy game, but Braintree they're no pushover. We only beat them 1-0 away, and it wasn't the most comfortable game. So I think February could be a good month for us. We've got a lot of teams who have changed. You might have thought Oldham and Gateshead earlier in the season. I would, if you're looking at current strength, I think we are in top 5-6 in the league in terms of where we're at. Oldham have lost Stones and he's gone to York, but they've lost other players as well. They've got some older players in. We've got a lot of young players. Fitness might help there. And then we go up to Gateshead, who have lost even more players to this endless cycle of Crawley, MK Dons, and like the weird feeder system that's going on. So, they're 2 games which could be massive for any playoff run. You've got other games which you might perceive as easier around them, an FA Trophy run, possibly a National League Cup run. We've got a fit squad, maybe a few more additions in the next few days just to bulk up the numbers and bring some quality in maybe the wide areas now that Jez has gone. I think it's a really quite, dare I say, exciting time to be a fan, because, you might have thought, let's say November, October, it's going to peter out. It's going to be 11th, 12th, something like that. Decent season, maybe a trophy run, but not too fast if not. Now you've got a team which, talking point on social media, taking a look at league leaders, a confident front three, a confident back line, of which multiple of them are getting, interest from higher up the pyramid, a goalkeeper who's, getting well praised by other players, a manager who's looking more and more just embedded in the system. A year now in charge, which seems mad to say considering just the mad year it's been. I think I'm going to make a little prediction here. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of February we're in the playoffs. I think the way things are going, we're top 3 or 4 in terms of points per game over the last 5 in the league, and that's outscoring York. I think that's outscoring Barnet. There's we've got momentum, and we know how important that can be. It's just whether we can see it through. Now it brings back to mind the second season in the EFL where we had that crazy unbeaten run in January to March, and then injuries and tiredness and just teams getting their second wind in April meant that we just dropped down to 14th. But it's a different team. It's a younger team. It's a different league. Maybe this could be a season where, look, we come out of nowhere, and a lot of people on social media are saying, don't take your eyes off them. We've got a bit discounted earlier in the season. I think now, inadvertently, eyes are on us for other reasons, and we can use that to our own benefit, which I don't think the players mind at all.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm delighted that it's timed itself perfectly, but I have said all the way through, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, but maybe after Christmas we're going to go on a great run. And I got a new yellow coat for Christmas, so obviously we need to put a lot of it onto the new yellow coat.
It looks so comfy. I got a new coat. I've got a gilet and a coat now, and they're something special. I have now found the love in a nice coat. I can feel myself getting old.
Whoa! This has just suddenly taken a nasty turn, hasn't it?
in comparison.
You mentioned Ziggy. There was a moment where he came on and he done this wonderful piece of control, and I swear he tripped over the ball, and we managed to get a free kick for it.
It was so good. I said, didn't Ziggy just trip over the ball? But he did actually hit the player's knee. Yeah. But he just tripped over, and the referee was going. He looked up, he smiled, because I was like, he didn't smile at me, obviously, but I just smiled. I was like, you've got lucky there. Glorious. But we've got the rub of the green. When things go well,
that's what happens.
They go well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's one area perhaps we could slightly improve on. Set pieces. I was really surprised when Will scored at York that everyone's going, I think that's like the first sort of set piece or first corner we've scored from. Set pieces we could. I don't know. I don't check these things. So again, something that is going to come. Now we get a bit more settled side, a bit more confidence. What do you think? You're pulling a face like you don't believe me, but
no. I'm just thinking. I'm just comparing it like with previous seasons. To be fair, with previous seasons, set pieces were a big part of our game because we had the Harry Smiths, the Joe Kizzies, the Ben Goodliffs, the Louis Johns of this world, who just could stand and flick it on it and cause a problem. But the remarkable thing is, I think we've scored free kicks and things. Haven't scored many, but it's a positive that actually most of our goals are coming from open play. Well, because that's a sign of a team who doesn't need the scenarios to score, and it shows the difference in team.
This is what I was thinking: is where does the count stop from a free kick? Because a lot of our free kicks are taken very quickly to keep the ball moving, to keep the play moving.
Yeah.
And it's a case of, okay, well, we take a free kick up here. So the move starts from a free kick. There's like 15 passes or whatever to suddenly get the ball into the box and shoot. Does that still count as a set piece? So at what point do you count it? So I don't think it's a major thing. It might be something else it would be great to have as a threat. But the way they take free kicks and so on, I don't think we're gonna need to worry too much because we tend to just keep the ball moving really, really quickly.
Same with corners. We take them. Half the time we take them short. We have the thing where we play it short and play it to the edge of the box, and if not, then we rebuild from there.
Well, give us a chance to take our phones out, guys, because none of us are catching any of these goals from. Because we're like, oh, it's gone. Right, fine. You've kind of covered some of this. The momentum. We're now 10th. It's building. There's a little. I mean, we didn't move, but there's a nice little gap now between us and 11th. And I think, obviously, everything being all equal, next league game, if we win, we've got to 6th. But we've got the trophy game. I don't know if there's any other games being played over next weekend. I should imagine so, because there's a few teams with games in hand on us. But you've already covered it. You're confident of the momentum going now into the last bit of the season. Unbeaten in January. Unbeaten since Christmas. And do you want to go out really confident and go, we could be unbeaten by the end of February?
No, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that far, just because they are hard games, and Oldham and Gateshead are having a great form, but they are two very tough games away in quick succession. Braintree, and there's another one at the end of the month. I don't know what it is, or is that in March? Because it's the 22nd. Is Braintree, no?
It might be this Rochdale, but that might go away.
Um,
Yeah, I think Rochdale's 1st of March, but that might go away because it's depending if either of us get through. So we've got Gateshead. So we've got Kiddie next week, Hartlepool, Oldham, Gateshead, and Braintree. After
Okay,
Kiddie,
yeah.
Nottingham Forest, and then I think it's the Rochdale match after. But
yeah, it's on the 1st because it's the 28th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just got, as he keeps saying, game by game is the best way to think about it. I mean, we've got a National League Cup game between against Notts Forest and 21s. There'll be no pushover. There's great mood around that club at the moment, so that I'm sure they'll be up for the fight. I think it means a lot to them as well, the National League under 21s, because I know National League clubs aren't taking it the most seriously. They do take it seriously, but youth academies come into it a lot, whereas it's important for these under 21 clubs, maybe in the what is it now? It's not the Bristol Street Motors. What's it called? There's a new name, isn't there? Is it called the Invicta Trophy? Invicta Trophy.
I think Bristol Street Motors only got it because it was like they had no sponsor and they offered them like 5 or something.
Virtue Trophy. That's what it's called. So Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Now the Virtue Trophy. Well, most of them I think are out now because the League 1 and 2 clubs are in. So it's actually quite a bit an important competition for them. But I think even Steve takes them somewhat seriously because they help to bring momentum, as you said, into the camp. And home, the kind of VBS is starting to become a fortress, but it's starting to become a place where we start to seem confident going into games. There's
an expectation.
Yeah, there is an expectation. It's not like last season where it'd be like, oh, well, anything can happen, being at home, being away, being in the middle of nowhere, we'll lose. So I'd like to hope, I'd hope for wins at Braintree and hopefully Kiddie next week it's away, but it doesn't really make a difference home and away for us. It seems like it's pretty much even. And I would actually back us to get a result at Oldham. I don't know why, just because I think their fans, the way they were a little bit earlier this season, and I think there's a bit like York, a bit of an underdog bias, just because obviously York and Oldham are traditionally bigger teams. I think there's a bit of we quite like being Sutton United, little old Sutton. I think being that underdog it suits this squad, especially the likes of Will. I think they really enjoy it, and point to prove, and I think Steve enjoys it as well. Being there with a point to prove, it's quite a nice feeling. So I wouldn't say unbeaten, but I certainly don't see it, and I don't want to give it the kiss of death here, but I don't see it all going wrong.
No, absolutely. I'm going to go with unbeaten. It's fine. Right.
We lose at Kiddie. We lose.
Yeah. No, we won't. Points of use. I've only got one question sent in. Is Jack Sims the best keeper in the league?
It's a claim. He's up there. He's top 5.
Okay.
Is that 3? It's hard to quantify because he's actually not made any glaring errors at all this season. He hasn't made an error that is massive this season. He's been good on penalty saves. His distribution's really quite good. He's comfortable playing out from the back. York, Harrison Marley's not bad, but again, they've had problems recently. Forest Green, I don't even know who their keeper is.
Let's just say, would you swap him for anyone else in the league?
No.
There we go. That's the answer. I'm with you. It's not just the saves.
They're all the best. It's just everyone's against us, and we are actually just the best.
It's the things like he just keeps us on our toes as well. He doesn't make mistakes. He just kind of decides to flick the ball up a little bit just to make sure we're all awake. Just keep us going.
Definitely.
And the shit housing is amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Right. So this is going to be a really super quick good, bad, and the funny. because it's only you.
That one
So-
is terrible.
That's great. Well, do you know what?
It's nowhere near on the scale of knowing me, knowing you.
Right.
It compares at no level.
No, I mean, I've said it before, but I'll explain what it was supposed to be. So at the end, instead of wah, 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 it was supposed to be Fozzie Bear going wacka, wacka, wacka. But it doesn't say wacka, wacka, wacka. The only sound clips I can get is him just going wacka, wacka. And I'm like, that doesn't work. It needs to be the free.
Free.
Yeah. So, yeah, if anyone's got a sound clip of Fozzie Bear going wacka, 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 send it and I can fix that. But anyway, what was good yesterday?
I'm going to be selfish.
Match day. It doesn't have to be on the pitch. Sorry. It
No,
could be anything you like.
I'm going to be selfish. Announcing the goal, Will Davis's goal. I'm gutted I didn't film it, but just the reaction when saying our number 9, Will Davis, and then just the cheers and the thing go around the ground. Just, for someone who supports the club, it's a brilliant feeling. So, yeah, that was dead fun.
You'd have to get yourself a second phone or something just to have filming you for the
No,
whole
no,
thing.
no. I filmed other ones. I filmed me introducing the game. I filmed me the substitutions. Right. But I had my phone set up. But in the moment, because obviously as a fan I reacted, I've just forgot to turn it on.
Yeah, but you just get a phone on, stick it on there for the full match, and you then got it.
Battery life's going to have to be impeccable.
Yeah. Plug it in. I'm sure there's plugs.
That's true.
What was bad about the day?
What was bad?
It was colder than I expected. I was lured in by that sunshine. I was like, "Oh, it's a lovely day."
It was a lovely day. I should have said the weather. It wasn't. It could have been colder. Food was nice. Oh, I always go on about the trains, so I'm going to go back to the trains.
You're not.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I got stuck at Warden for 5 minutes on my train home, and I mean, it's just. I mean, if that's the bar for bad, it's not. It's not very.
That's quite a good day, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. There's worse places to be stuck for 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, my brother lives that way, so maybe. What was funny about the day?
What was funny? I spoke to Steve. I made Steve laugh, so I'm taking it. Made Steve laugh, cracked a joke. He was testing the mic for the interview. I went 1, 2, 3, and I said, tag Matt Ugler, stick that on a TikTok. Our manager's bilingual, and he laughed. So that's a good and a funny. So for all you guys saying that you don't like Steve Morrison, well, some people can make him laugh. So
was he laughing with you or at you? That's a big question. We'll have to ask him.
I'll ask him about Hartlepool.
Yeah.
No. When Jack told him I was going to do PA, he was like, "Guess who's on PA today?" He was like, "Your boy." And I was like, "Yes." So.
Very.
I don't think it like. I mean, I've only actually spoken to him once before, but like, I'm making progress. I'm going up in the world.
Exactly. Right. So we are going to talk about Kidderminster. So they're all but top of National North. They got a game in hand. If they win that, they are top. Do you think we are going to use this to give players minutes, or what used to be called the fringe players? Or do you think we got to go, no, at this stage, that's it. We've got to go full strength. We've got a midweek game, but I don't think we got a midweek game the one after.
We don't.
No. So what do you think we're going to do?
What is a fringe player? Because I don't think we have fringe players. I think we've got a few first names on the team sheet. I know that's why you said it. That's why I
said it that way. Come on.
I know. I think we have 5 names which go on the team sheet first. They are Tyler French, Jack Sims, Will Davies. No. Finley Barbrook, 4.
Josh.
No.
No.
I think he's great and I love him, but I don't think he's a first name on the team sheet. I think Jez is up there, Dylan's up there, Ash is up there, Jack's up there, Wadham. So I think we treat it like a Saturday game. We've got National League Cup midweek. We maybe bring a few players in, but that bench yesterday, you've got Harry Ransom and Hayden Muller. They're 2 very really made centre backs. You've got Ryan Jackson at right back, maybe get Edwina at left back. That's a brilliant back 4. Then you switch the midfield up, and maybe you keep Alex Woodyard in for a bit of stability, but then you create a midfield, let's say, of Jack Warden coming back and Sidhu, another excellent midfield. Then you maybe play, I don't know, Nana Boateng, keep Will up there and bring Ashes in back into the team. You take that starting lineup for a league game. That is a very solid lineup. Brings the base in there. Gives the likes of Finley, Josh, keep Jack in goal because Matt or Sam, Steve's not back yet. Matt and Sam, good. Sam's gone on loan, hasn't he, to Sutton Rovers. So Matt obviously as a backup now that George has gone, but I just for security, because I think playing the way we do, I think Jack is so integral to that. I don't think we can discount him. But that keeps the backbone of the team. But because we don't have a midweek game, we don't have a midweek game this week or the one week after, we just treat it like a Saturday league game. We're into the advanced stage of the competition, builds up momentum around the club, and then you've still got a game on Tuesday where you've got a very capable academy group like Liam, Joden, Vinny, I know Sam. Can he play? I think he can.
I don't know, but I think
Matt might play.
Yeah, you'd probably get that. Sorry, I just got that the wrong way around. We haven't got midweek this week, but we've got Forest.
That's what I mean. So we don't have one this week, but we have one next week, and then the week after that we don't have one again. Yeah. So it's not as back to back as it has been over the last few months. So I think we treat it as maybe again to get a few players minutes, but the players I'm saying we bring in, Hayden Muller,
they're not
astonishing.
fringed.
Ryan Jackson, Nana Boateng, still an excellent goal on Tuesday night. They are just as able, just as in tune with philosophy, and can get a result against. It's Veneral National League North, but they did go down last season. There is, I think, a bigger drop from between League One, League Two to National League than National League to Step Two. I think there's a bigger shift. I don't think National League North is as strong as National League South either. I'm not discounting it as a league. I just think the South is of slightly better quality. And I think we should be looking to get a good result because I think, a cup run is another thing. Just, in previous seasons, we'll be like, we're pushing for playoffs. Maybe let's just focus on that. Great. I think actually game congestion isn't something which worries these players a lot. Maybe injuries does, but it seems like we've come out the worst of that. And we've actually got a decently stat squad, and our only long-term absentees are Stephen and Jaden. That gives us a cup run, gives us impetus. And our next league game's not for 2 weeks. We don't need to think about Hartlepool. We just need to think about. I also don't think, from the sounds of it, they don't really categorise. Maybe the National League Cup games, but they don't really categorise it as competition. It's another game. It's a game of football. It's a game against this opponent. We want to win. We want to play the football we want to play, and we want to put on a show and make people enjoy the football we play. And I really like that attitude because prioritising competitions gets tricky because then you're like, we don't really mind what we do, and that sets a culture which is like, that's not a positive culture to have because it's like, it's okay if we don't get a result in this game. Steve's completely against that. It seems it's just like we are a club who should be doing well and should be winning as many games as we can. That's what you want to do now, rather than prioritising competition. So I think we'll just go into it with a base game, but there's no player in the squad where I think maybe in previous seasons where I think, that could be a casualty case. Yeah. There's no player in this squad who I'm like, no, I believe that they can do the job. We all make mistakes. They have made mistakes this season. They'll learn from them. They're young. And that's what he keeps saying. And I'm really starting to believe that this squad is actually capable of things. And it's my positivity, which has come in previous seasons and has kind of dwindled since from last season at the start of this season, starting to come back up again.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it is positive. They do want to win every match. You mentioned Jaden there. He, little bit of news. He's off he's still got the boot, but he's off crutches. So he was hobbling around the place yesterday.
He was on the bike yesterday.
Yeah, I was told about that. Do you think Kidderminster are going to take it? Not seriously. Obviously, they're going to take it seriously, but they're going for the league. So, do you think they're going to be like, right, we're going to go for both, or you think they might just go, do you know what? Let's concentrate on the league at this stage.
I think there's a higher chance of them doing that than us because I think a return to the National League is because they are a former Football League club. They've Phil Brown as their manager last season, so it's not a small club by any means, and they're doing well at the top of the National League North. However, it's a Saturday 3 p.m. I don't think they've got. I checked earlier. I don't think they've got a game this week. So, you know, oh no, they do. They've got Brackley away, and Brackley are 4th. So I wouldn't be surprised if they prioritise that away league game, 3rd v 4th, and then maybe took the hit, because I think they're one of the only Step 2 competitors left in the trophy. That leaves only National League clubs. The chances of a National League North side going through the next 3 rounds in a title race is slightly smaller than a National League club who is, I don't think, a kiddie pro?
Sure. I'd imagine they only went. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they only went down. Kidderminster professional. Let's have a look. They are professional. So, you know, I would imagine they might prioritise Tuesday. But again, there should be no reason to write them off. Because, you know, National League North, top of the National League North, you don't get to that position without some
used to
good players.
Years back, it was only 3 up, 3 down. And it used to be the playoff final for the National League North and South was against each other. So only one of them came up, and I think it was the South were winning it all the time. So that's when I stopped that.
3 up, 3 down. Hear that, EFL?
Yeah.
You hear that one? 3 up, 3 down. Great idea.
Come on. What is your prediction? You're still bottom of the prediction league with your 1 entry. But what is your prediction for this match?
4-2.
4-2 to Sutton.
Yep.
Excellent. Lovely. Well, hopefully they think that it's Sutton Coldfield that's rocking up to them, because that'll be nice. I think,
there is a Sutton United in Birmingham who just keeps popping up on my feed every now and then.
There's Sutton United, yeah. They were. Jenny was furious because I was like, well, it must have been they were formed around the same time, and they were so low down that everyone thought, oh, it's never going to be a problem. But yeah, they were formed in 1947, I think, and we're 1898, so they should change their name. But I'm going to go with, oh God, I didn't think about it. Let's go 2-1 Sutton. I'm going to go back retro 2-1 Sutton. It's a cup game.
Retro from like a month and a half ago.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap up this episode of Sutton Podcast. I'm going to get you to say it, Joe. As always, thank you for your...
I can't, because I had the reaction's better than me saying it. Say again.
Go on. We appreciate your attention and we value your feedback. Get involved in our Knowing Me, Knowing You section. What is the best food or drink you've ever had at a football ground? I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to put something better than Joe's burger. I mean, I'm just going to put like the music of Jatam to Joe's burger or something.
I didn't hear any of that.
You didn't hear any of that? Okay, lovely, great. You took your earphones out. I'll do it. But follow, like, share this episode. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe on your favourite podcast platform. We are back after the Kidderminster match. I haven't organised a planner yet, so I don't know who's going to be on. I know one of them is going to be JR, but I don't know who's going to be with him. But thank you today to Joe. Thank you to Lucky Star Gin. I don't know why you think you're signing or something, because you're not.
I'm doing subtitles. No, subtitles are the thing.
Thanks you to everyone for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and take care. We will catch up soon. Bye-bye.
United!